in this session, we would be seeing how to use a linear chart for studying and learning an answer. A linear chart is used for answers in which the child is expected to put the steps in a logical order. In these types of answers, the order in which the steps occur is of utmost importance, and if you change the order of the steps, the whole answer becomes incorrect. So, a linear chart can be used for answers, say for example, to memorize answers which is as a process paragraphs for science, physics, chemistry experiments, and to memorize timeline in social studies. Let us see how to go about doing a linear chart. This is a very small paragraph that tells you an experiment about how to find the volume of a stone. Take a minute, read through the paragraph. The first step that we have to do is convert this paragraph into simple steps. In linear chart, it is only the sequence of steps that is important. So, simplify the sentence up to the comfort level of the child. So, we have broken down the passage into steps. There are say about 6 steps. The next, after changing a para into these steps, the next thing we have to do is use colored strips for each step that is being written. You can use one color for the entire experiment, or you can use different colored steps for each step. This again depends upon the comfort level of the child. So, what are the steps that is being written? The first step is pour water in a measuring cylinder, note the initial level of water, tie a stone, lower the stone completely into water, note the final level of water. The volume of stone is equal to the final level minus the initial level of water. So, these are the 7 steps of the experiment. The first thing after you color code that you have to do is arrange the whole experiment in sequence. Make the child familiar with the sequence. This is the first thing you have to do. He has to be comfortable with the entire sequence of the experiment. Once the child is familiar or comfortable with the entire sequence of steps, the thing you have to do is remove the first step. Once you have removed the first step, ask the child which step has been removed. Let him recall from memory which step has been removed. Once he is able to tell the answer, put the first step back. Even if he is not able to recall, put the step back, again go back to making him comfortable with the entire sequence. Now, remove the second step, proceed in the same way for the entire sequence of the experiment. Now, there are some activities which you can do using a linear chart. Once the child is familiar, you can take out all the strips of paper, jumble it up, give it to him, ask him to rearrange in logical order. Or you can even remove steps at random and ask him to recall from his visual memory which step has been removed. You always have to follow up the learning using study skills with writing. Ask him to write the experiment in a proper format. You can do a linear chart even in a kinesthetic way, just like we did definitions. Let me demonstrate how you can use kinesthetic way to learn this experiment. Now, let me show you how this answer can be done in a kinesthetic way. Let me be the measuring cylinder, or you can ask your student also to be a measuring cylinder. So, pour water in a measuring cylinder, note the initial level of water, tie a stone by means of a thread, lower the stone completely into water, note the final level of water, volume of stone is equal to final level minus the initial level. After you do this, in case you want to make the class interesting, you can act it out and ask the children to verbalize which step has been acted out. You can act out the entire experiment and ask the child to identify the experiment that is being acted out, or you can even make the child stand here and act out the entire experiment. In this way, learning can be fun and class can also be made interesting.